Si quieren asistir a este video en español, clic en el link en la descripción.
Hi guys, my name is Thales and I'm from Plugin. Welcome to my channel. As always, it's a pleasure to record this video with you and bring you guys more information about ADAS. As a disclaimer, if you guys want, we have this whole video recorded in Spanish. The guy who does this is my partner Fernando, and if you guys want, the link will be on the description. Right now, we're gonna start to do uh 2023 Nissan Altima, and on this car particularly, we're gonna do the lane departure warning system calibration. Okay, so let's start it. All right, here I'm telling informations about the car. I'm checking the year of the car. And then as you guys can see here, we are doing a Nissan Altima. Let me go back a little bit. Sorry. Here, as you guys can see here, it's a Nissan Altima. Okay, I'm new to this software, so here, Nissan Altima. Let's keep going. So right now I'm commenting a little bit about the weather. Let me pause in a better position of the video here. Okay, I'm adjusting the curtains. These curtains we use when like so so with experience, you guys will see that the weather will interfere a lot on the calibration that you are performing. Sometimes you're gonna see that the weather is too bright and the calibration cannot be performed because the targets are reflecting too much of the light and the camera cannot see really well where it should point it at. Sometimes the weather is going to be too dark and the calibration cannot be performed because the machines cannot get the difference between the black and white of the target. So always when you are performing the calibration, be aware of the weather. Again, this is not the end of the world. If you try to perform the calibration and because of the brightness it doesn't work, the tablet will give you a feedback. Sometimes it will tell you that the reason is the brightness. Sometimes you have to figure this out, but I guarantee that you, like, if you pay attention and put this on one of the first of your steps, you will see that maybe you have to change the brightness a little bit, okay? So right here I'm making sure that all the brightness is going to the targets because the weather is like dark. So beforehand I'm like checking the weather and making sure that I'm gonna have the right environment to do the calibration. Okay, so here I'm showing that we replaced the windshield. Oops. Okay, got it. So here, as you guys can see, I'm showing that we replaced the windshield. So the reason why we're doing this calibration is because we replaced the windshield and the windshield will never be at the same place as it was before. And as you guys can see here, I'll talk a little bit about this blue tape. This blue tape is just a safety tape that we put on the windshield when we just replace it and the glue is still wet. So always, if you move the car and the tape are not in, if the glue doesn't dry really fast, you're gonna like move the windshield a little bit, and also this can affect the calibration in the future because it's gonna change the position of the camera. So when they replace the windshield, they always put the tape on top just to make sure that the windshield is gonna be at the same place until the glue dries 100%, okay? All right. And then here I'm just showing that we received this car to do a windshield replacement. The other part of the company will do works for somebody's doing the windshield replacement, and afterwards we from plugin we have to do the windshield calibration, okay? So right now, um let's wait a little bit. Okay, right now I'm gonna plug the VCI and I'm explaining that while we are setting up the tools and putting everything on the right place, it is a beginner mistake that I made when I first started, and I had a few problems with this. Is that I let the car just with the ignition on while I was doing the whole procedure, as you guys gonna see throughout this video, it takes a while to do this part of the calibration. Honestly, is the part that takes the most of the calibration is you arranging the parts and the tools and measuring everything. So as a standard, me and my partner Fernando, we always leave the engine on while we are positioning the target. And then if the car asks to, or actually not the car, but the software that we are using, and the software that we are using is Autel, um, asks for leaving the car with engine on and ignition, or actually ignition on and engine off, we will turn off the engine and leave only the ignition on. Sorry, guys. Okay. So here I'm saying that I just plug the VCI and the VCI will connect with the tablet automatically. Here I'm explaining that while I'm arranging, I turn on the engine. So I just turn the engine on and I'm gonna leave the car running so the car don't die. Guys, please make sure that the car don't die. These cars that we are working here at this place we do works for, they have pretty new cars, so the batteries are great, but you will never only work on brand new cars. Sometimes you're gonna have a car that has a battery that is almost dying, or an old car. Always make sure that you preserve the healthy of the battery. So leave the engine on while you're doing the procedure. You don't have to do any jump on the car later on. Believe me, guys, I passed through this and it happened to me. Always keep the engine on and you're gonna have no problem, okay? So I'm checking if the camera is recording at the right place. Let's just jump a little bit. So here I'm just, uh, again, I did this. Sorry. I'm just trying to get this software. It's gonna take a while. Believe me, trust me, I'm gonna get it. So here I'm showing that um, the VCI already detected the informations of the vehicle. So here we have the VIN number and here we have the make of the vehicle, okay? And here as a standard, so me and my partner Fernando, we have a standard, a pattern that we use to do the nomenclature of all cars that we do calibration. We always put the license plate and we use like either dash or space and we write down the date that we performed the calibration. This is a way that works for us, and always when we need to like find the car or anything like that, it's easier for us to retrieve the information. If you guys find a way that is easier for you, always make sure that you guys stick with a pattern that's gonna like save you a lot of time. Also, if the car doesn't have a license plate, like some cars come from the body shop and doesn't have a license plate, we either put the last six or the last eight of the VIN. Me and my partner, we assured that we always put the last eight, but you guys can do whatever you guys think is best practice for your business, okay? So here I was just writing down the license and the date. And here I'm showing the position of the camera. So you guys cannot see it really well here, but the camera is located right at this point. Oops, right at this point right here. Let me let this go out. Okay, right at where I made the circle. And always like when you look like right in the middle of the windshield on the top, usually where your rear view mirror is located, okay? So always check if the camera is at the right place, especially Nissans. Nissans has a little bit of a problem because there's like two pins that always need to match the two holes. Like we have two holes and two pins that needs to be at this right place. And we got cars more often than we should that the car was like with lights on the panel, the calibration was needed to be performed, and it was because the lane camera was at the wrong position. And when you check this first, you can tell right away that this is the situation. You're gonna remove the cover. Also, we're gonna post some videos about how we're gonna we remove some covers of these cars because this can be a bit tricky sometimes. But always we remove the cover, we see if the camera is at the right position. If it doesn't, we know right away what you got to do is that we need to reposition it, the camera, and do the calibration, okay? So here I'm telling that the camera is on the right position. And so right here, the communication between the VCI and the tablet gave us the whole information about the vehicle, year, make, model, VIN number, the type of engine, and all other stuff that we don't need for doing the ADAS calibration, but the tablet is complete. It does a full diagnostic of the vehicle, okay? Here saying that is a North America car, the type of the model, and the VIN number. Okay, so now I got into the pre-scan menu, and on the pre-scan menu, we are not able to do the ADAS calibration yet. First of all, I'm gonna do a pre-scan, and then I'm gonna go out the pre-scan menu and get back to the post-scan menu where we are able to do the calibration. Again, we use Autel, and that is how it works with Autel. And it's always a good practice because you always need to make sure how the car you are getting into your shop is doing before you even touch or even start to work on this car. It's good for the safety of your business, okay? So I'm doing the pre-scan right now. And then I'm gonna hit full scan, and now it's gonna ask for the license plate and the mile age of the vehicle. Some cars the mile age comes automatically, On this case, for Nissans, I need to write down even the license plate and the mileage, okay? I'm gonna put the license plate here. I'm just gonna advance it a little bit, and I'm gonna put the mileage or the odometer. Perfect. Now it's scanning the car. Let's advance this a little bit more. So let me just go back here. Right here, guys, you can see. Okay, right here, guys, you can see. Let me go back here. You can see that there are some errors on this orange squares here that I'm showing you guys, but I'm gonna show later on the list that most, actually not most, all of these errors are passed. So I'm gonna be able to erase the whole thing, but I'm not gonna do this on the pre-scan because I wanna make sure that I have the real picture of how the car came to our shop. Okay? So here's showing the errors, and right here, I don't know if you guys can see really well, but here is showing a lot of past errors that I'm gonna be able to erase in the post scan, but right now I'm gonna keep it as is. Okay, let me advance a little bit. I'm just showing the. Okay, so here now I'm gonna get out of the pre-scan menu because I wanted to perform the calibration. So I'm gonna get out of the pre-scan menu and access the post-scan menu. For here, for this, I hit these two little cards that we are having here, and I'm choosing the option OK. Here is asking, are you sure you wanted to exit this mode? Something like that. And I'm just hitting that I want to skip to exit this mode. And then now for accessing this back right here, we are on the history panel, and right in the history panel are all the cars that you performed the calibration or even started to do a pre-scan diagnostic. I always go to the first square because this is the last car we did a pre-scan, and this is for the Nissan that we are having right now, okay? So I'm gonna type the first square and getting to the post scan procedure menu. So right here right now I'm gonna click in ADAS calibration, ADAS, and then it's gonna access the ADAS menu. And here right now I'm gonna do the fold scan and see what is going on specifically with ADAS, which is what we are working with, okay? Here I'm just reminding that the car is still with the engine running because as you guys can see, we already have a few minutes here, and if the battery wasn't right, the car might could die and we will have another issue, and we don't want that to our shop. So right here I saw that there are some faults here related to there's another one here related on the ADAS menu. But before everything else, I'm gonna make sure to keep only the permanent or the errors. What is the other name? It's permanent and
History.
no the
Permanent,
and
past, history, or qual? O. 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 detected?
But there's another name as well. But anyways, there's another. It's a permanent and another synonym synonym of permanent that present. So either permanent or present, and we just want to keep these errors because these are what we want to focus on. Everything else is like blurring our objective to do the calibration where it needs to be done, okay? So I hit a fold scan again just to be sure what errors it would show, okay? And then right here, I'm just like drinking a little bit of coffee. And all right, here right now, I'm erasing the codes just to make sure that I'm gonna work with permanent errors and not with history or past errors, okay? So it is erasing everything. And here I'm telling beforehand that I noticed that all of the errors that were showing were passed, and we are gonna be able to erase everything. So we will have the car clean to do the calibration. But we are doing, just as a reminder, we are doing the calibration because the windshield was replaced, and always is a standard to perform the lane departure calibration after the windshield replacement is performed on the vehicle. So we're gonna make sure that the camera, even though it's in a different position, is gonna work properly and safe on the vehicle that we are working on, okay? So I'm just explaining what I just explained to you guys. And then this right here, uh, we have some options here asking why we are performing this calibration. I'm just gonna select that I'm performing the calibration because we have, or whoever did it, replace it the windshield. And I'm explaining this here. So I selected, and right here I'm gonna select the tools that I'm gonna use to do the frame positioning. And just to explain you guys, this these options of tools are not gonna be like a huge deal while you're doing the calibration. What is important are the measurements and that the angle and everything is positioning right. Tools are tools. If you have tape measurement, laser measurement, they are for the same purposes, and you're going to be able to do and perform the calibration either if you have one or the other, okay? Right here, I'm going to show you guys. So here I have the laser, and here I have the tape measurement. So I have both tools. You guys gonna see that for one thing I'm gonna use the laser, for other things I'm gonna use the tape. It's just what is easier for me. And you guys always keep whatever is easier for you guys. The purpose is the same, okay? So I'm showing here for you. Perfect. So here I tap that I have the tape measurement, even though I have both. And here it's gonna ask me if I need to use, if I wanna use the frame or the targets. We don't have the frame. Actually, this is not the frame. This is the pattern. We don't have the pattern, which is like a big square where we put like I don't know what's the material, but it's like a cloth that you put on top, and you can perform calibration for some makes and models. And the targets are the small squares, the small targets that we use to perform calibration others model make and models. Some cars, some let's say some targets are provided by Autel on uh, both equipments, either target or pattern. Whatever you guys have, just make sure that you choose the one you have, and it's gonna be again just choosing a tool. It's not gonna be any worst if you choose the wrong one because you're gonna be able to perform the calibration anyways. Okay. So here I'm showing it closely, just to show you guys. So here, this is the one we have. Okay. So I chose letter B, and here is asking what type of surface level I have, either if the car is parked on the ground or if it has like a level that is changing the height of the vehicle. The car is parked on the ground, I'm going to choose A. If you have a car parked on the level that changes the height of the vehicle, make sure you put letter B, okay? Okay, so here I hit it okay. And now we're going to start to do the setup, which means that we're gonna position we're gonna position the frame at the right place in front of the vehicle. And I'm gonna explain you guys later what I mean by that, okay? So right here, there is just a disclaimer by Autel, and they are telling like, oh, please make sure that the car has all doors closed. There is nothing inside of the vehicle. There is nothing in the trunk. Check the tire pressure. Everything that is standard for every car, and some other things that are standard for each make and model. Okay. Right here, as we do this a lot. The car, it's has everything. Later in another video, I'm gonna bring you guys this whole list, and we're gonna discuss about every section of this list. Right now, everything is at the right place. We're gonna focus on placing the frame at the right position. Okay. I I took a screenshot. This is for the next video. Okay. So, first of all, the tablet will tell you everything that you need to do. The first thing that the tablet says is that you have to make sure that your frame is at the standard position, which means that everything needs to be at the right place before you even start it. So the origin position of this uh, frame right here that we have, and this other one right here we have. Sorry, I made this other error by mistake. My bad. Let me keep going. So here there is this red arrow, this red arrow, and this arrow needs to be right here in the middle when we start the calibration, to make sure that the laser is going to be right in the middle of the frame. And if you have to point this to the middle of the vehicle, you're going to make sure that both are in the middle, the laser pointing to the middle of the vehicle and the position of the origins of the laser, it's at the middle of the frame, okay? So right here, I said that this is already in the origin because we are able to move this little bar right here, actually this whole bar right here, to this side and to this side by scrolling this, by rotate this to the sides. Like if you rotate to the right, it's gonna move to the left, and if you rotate to the left, it's gonna move to the right, okay? And also here, I'm making sure that it is at the origin position, because using this level right here, you guys gonna see it later in the video, I'm gonna have to use this. This is where you can change the angle of the frame, okay? So let's keep it going. I went to the next page. So now I'm gonna positioning the laser at the middle of the car, or in the middle of the car. So let's do it. So here is telling that the distance A, which is the distance from the middle of the wheels, from the back of the bar of the frame, needs to be somewhere around 3008 millimeters. So the tablet is telling me this, and I'm gonna make sure that I have the right distance, okay? So here I'm telling what is the position about. So I'm gonna get this target just to check the distance, and I'm gonna point the laser. So right here, I'm positioning the target in the middle of the wheel so I can point the laser and get the measurement, okay? I'm gonna turn the laser on. And now to make it, oh, so here I just realized it that I made a mistake. And when I was checking the frame position, I didn't put the arrow, the arrow, it's hard to say that word, the arrow right in the middle of the frame. So right now I'm gonna make sure that I do this right, okay? Here. So now I'm gonna move the laser, and now we are having the red arrow positioned in the middle of the frame, which is right here. Okay, let's go. It's because when I say red, it comes error to my mind, and arrow is just like error, so in my mind, okay? Let's keep going. Now I'm gonna take off this pattern just to make easier to put the frame at the right position, because right now, as you guys gonna see, I'm gonna have to check a lot where the laser is located in the front of the vehicle and the distances. So to make my life easier, I'm gonna remove this pattern, okay? Oops. All right. So I'm moving the frame down. Moving a little bit more. So now I'm positioning the frame right in the middle of the vehicle, okay? So here I got, let me get back a little bit. So here I showed that the laser is shooting the target. So as you guys can see here, I have 2,839. I need to move the frame backwards. Let's do it. All right, let's see. 2,988. Let's keep moving backwards. And then now let's see what I got. I got a little bit more. I can't read, so now 3,044. Forward, 317, 3017. And now I have 3005. And just to explain you guys, this doesn't need to be perfect. There's always a tolerance that you can leave the distance from the car. Even the distance and other things that I'm gonna tell you guys later in this video. But this is not like um, a totally correct science. There's always tolerance for minor errors. So the difference is 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters is not gonna make any difference by performing this calibration, okay? So always allow yourself, guys, to make some minor errors. And anyways, if you do a mistake, the calibration will not work. Otherwise, if you follow all of the parameters, the calibration will work and you're good to go. But if it doesn't, don't be afraid. It's gonna give you a feedback that it didn't work. You just have to do it again. Do it again, do it again, to the moment you got the calibration right. Okay? No worries. Oh, see? 3004, 3003. We have like 5 millimeters from the position that was telling in the target on the tablet, which is not that much. So here I'm showing it again. So I'm telling the same thing that I just told you guys right now. So now I'm gonna positioning the wheel clamps. So here I'm just explaining that I'm gonna use the wheel clamps. First of all, there's two phases while you're doing the measurement with the wheel clamps. The first phase is that you're gonna make sure that the width to the right and the width to the to the left, right, left are the same. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna position the frame on the horizontal level right in the middle of the vehicle. This is the first phase. The second phase, I'm gonna make sure that the angle of the frame is the same angle that the car is parked. So let's say that the car is parked facing here. If I have this right here, the camera will see really bad where the target is positioned. So I need to make sure that the frame is well aligned to the car, okay? These are the two phases of the wheel clamp. So as I'm telling here, so let's move a little bit forward. So right here, I'm taking the wheel clamps and I'm gonna put one on the rear right wheel. So here, and then make sure that you attach it correctly and try to not damage the wheel, okay? So I always put like this a little bit longer. So I put like the top one and then the bottom one. It always go like touching the tire until the moment it touches the wheel and it's good to go. Okay. This I'm getting the left side. The left side is going to be pretty much the same as the right side, so I'm going to advance the video a little bit. And right now it's positioned. I turned off the lights, the headlights, just so it doesn't affect that much my view of the measurements, because I want to make sure that I have the right and perfect positioning, okay? So I'm gonna turn on the left wheel clamp just to explain you guys. Let me let's see. I'm checking that. So right here from the wheel clamp, let's imagine that the wheel clamp is right here. From the wheel clamp, there is a laser coming off from it. So the laser goes from here all the way to the target. And same thing from the other side. So I'm just making sure that the laser is pointing at this red ruler that we have right here on the left side, okay? So now I'm gonna get the other side. Oh, here I can explain it better. Right here, from this point, there is a laser coming off here, and I need this laser to touch the red ruler that is located on the right side and the left side of the frame, okay? So as you guys can see right here, I'm positioning the laser and the laser is on the ruler. Okay. Here I'm just explaining the same thing, and I'm gonna check right now the values that I'm gonna get from it. So right here, as you guys can see, I'm having a value. You guys can see right here, I'm having a value that is very close to 0. And as you guys gonna see, I'm gonna check the other side. This side right here, although it's a little bit blurred, but I'm having a value that is like way above 100. And right here with this rotation, that this tool that I use to do the rotation, move the frame to the sides, I have only 50 millimeters of range. So before I know that I have a value that is above 50 millimeters from the difference of the two sides, I'm just gonna do this manually up to the point that I have a range that is smaller than 50 millimeters, and I'm gonna be sure that I'm gonna do the right positioning using this tool right here that I have in the mirror, that I do the rotation and move the frame to the sides, okay? So there is a big difference. I'm gonna change this manually right now. So let's move it. Here I'm explaining just what I explained it to you guys. So right here I have 50 millimeters, and right here I have 50 millimeters. If I move this tool, I'm gonna be able just to move 50 millimeters to this side and 50 millimeters to this side. No more than that. So any difference that I have above this number, it's better to do it manually, and then I can do using the tool. So I'm moving manually. Okay. Right now, I'm explaining that as I move it manually, the distance from the frame all the way to the car is it changed. So I'm gonna make sure that I always have the same distance. So I have to redo the measurement of the distance. So let's do it. Here, and then I'm pointing the laser there again, and I'm gonna get. I just advanced it a little bit, but I got the distance, and now I'm rotating these little screws right here, like this one I have here. I have one on the back, and this is to make sure that while you are doing other measurements, the frame doesn't move. And because if the frame moves, you have to redo the measurements. So always make sure that you tie this all the way to the bottom, and for your safety, so you don't have to do this again, do this and you're gonna have a good measurement, okay? Let me turn the laser off. And then I was reading the values. As you guys can see, one laser is pointing here and another laser is pointing right here. So here I'm having 165 millimeters on this side, and on the other side I'm having somewhere between 55 and 60, okay? So I need to arrange this so that the both values should be the same. This way I'm gonna be sure that my frame has the same distance on this side and on the other side, and that my frame is aligned right in the middle of the vehicle, okay? So I try to rotate these, but as you guys gonna see later, I wasn't able to do it with the machine because the difference was above 50 millimeters, so I had to change it again. Let's do it here. So here I'm just doing some math because always, like, you can do it like looking and always like checking both sides, but if you get the two values, sum the values and divide it by two, you're gonna have the average, and the average is the value you're aiming for, okay? I tried to move it, but I needed the value of 110, and right here, as you guys can see, I barely got 120, and I just moved the maximum that I could, right? And for this, I will need to do it manually again. So always it's like this. You're gonna make mistakes. You have to redo it up to the point that you have the right measurement, okay? So I'm doing this manually. I'm gonna pass this a little bit. So here you guys, as you guys are seeing, I'm doing the arrangement, and then I'm checking the distance again. So here the laser is it's on the target. Let's check here. I'm moving forward because it was a little bit farther than I needed. So I'm gonna tie the safety and 3003. Let's see. So right here, I'm having somewhere 110, between 115 and then 120. So now I'm adjusting just so I can have 110 on both sides. So what I did is that I forgot that after I position it, I needed to like while I was doing it manually, I needed to rotate this back to the origin position. So I could read the values and see that I have a difference of values below this maximum range that I have here. And I didn't do this. So right now I have to do it again because I made this mistake. But no problem. Let's do it. So I'm gonna put the target back here. And I'm gonna do the same process again, okay? Let me advance a little bit. So here, I'm checking the position. And here, I'm checking the lasers. I'm moving a little bit manually again. Now I'm arranging the distance. And I'm moving just a little bit more. Always trying to adjust and have the perfect values. So let's move this, advance the video a little bit. So now I'm having values that are pretty close. I'm gonna be able to do this using the frame tools, okay? So right there I had 85 and here 145. So let's check here right now. So I was doing more math right here and I realized that 110 for each side would be a good value. So let's do it. I'm gonna rotate it now until the laser right here matches the number that I'm aiming for. So I'm getting back to 110 here and the other side. So here I have 110, the other side. So let's move it a little bit. And perfect. As you guys can see, I'm having the same value on this side and the same value on the other side. So now the frame is at the right positioning of width from both sides of the vehicle, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is arrange the angle of the frame from the car, okay? So here what I'm explaining is that um, I have these lasers coming from the target. This laser is coming from the target and it's gonna hit a mirror that I have right here positioned, and the mirror is gonna send the laser back to the wheel clamps. That's what I'm explaining here. Let me see if I can explain it better here for you guys. Uh, so now what I'm gonna do is that the wheel clamps is positioned at the wheel height. So what I'm gonna do is match the frame height to the wheel height. So the laser is pointing the mirror and the mirror is returning something almost at the same height. If I have something above or below, you guys gonna see that it's gonna point to another position and it's not gonna go to the target or the ruler that we are having on the wheel clamps. So I'm just moving this down. So now the laser is off the mirror. So I'm just adjusting, moving down. So here, as I told you guys, the 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 wheel clamps, the laser that is coming from the wheel clamp, it's like pointing to the mirror, but the mirror is above it. So the laser is going. Can it is hitting my hand? Can you see my hand here? So like the laser here is, let's say that is it is at this position, and the frame is above. So where the mirror is located. So the laser is coming from here, but it's returning to the same height as the frame it is, or as the mirror is. So as you guys can see here, it is right in the middle of my leg and is above the wheel clamps ruler. So what I'm gonna do is move this a little bit down. So I'm moving this down. So now it's in the ruler, but as you guys can notice, it disappeared because it went to a position that is below where the frame is located right now. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna move the frame down a little bit more. All right. So now the laser is on the ruler, and let's do the same to the other side. So the laser right now is not pointing the mirror, it's pointing something above the mirror. So what I'm gonna do is pointing this to the mirror. Okay, it was at my leg, so let's move it down. So as you guys can see, the laser was there, but it disappeared. I'm gonna move the frame a little bit more again because the level is never perfect and we have to arrange our frame and our wheel clamps so we can match the level differences. Okay, I'm moving it down. All right. So now we can see that the laser is pointing the wheel clamps on both sides. So now we need to match the angle. So we need the value on the left wheel clamp is the same value of the right wheel clamp. Okay? So here is the measurement of the wheel clamps. So right here I have 0, 5, 10, and right behind my hands here I have 15, and here it's going by one, 1, 2, 3, the numbers between the 0 and 5, and between the 0 and number 1 I have the halves. So zero point 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, and so on. All right. So here, as you guys can see, the laser is between 5 and 5.5 on this side. And on the other side, we are having somewhere between 4.5 and 5.5. As you guys can see, the values are pretty close. We're having like less than 1 millimeter. No, actually, this is in centimeters, so less than 1 centimeter less from one side to the other side. These measurements are really good. We were we can do the calibration, and if you guys want we can make an example where we having like a little bit of difference between the two wheel clamps and we are gonna perform the calibration, and you guys gonna see that it will work because it has a tolerance. There is a range where the camera can view your targets, and it needs to be really bad so the camera cannot view it. If the camera can view it and the bright is good, the positioning is good, for this tolerance, the calibration will be successfully performed. Otherwise, you're gonna have a failed performance and you just need to try it again and you're gonna do the calibration eventually. The car will not do the perform the calibration afterwards. Don't like just get the calibration off of it. So always, if the values are right or in the tolerance, you are going to be able to perform the calibration really well. This is not an exact math. Always be aware that is a tolerance. You don't need to be perfect. And that's it. Let's keep going. But for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna try to have as closest to the same value as I can. So I'm gonna do a few tries just to make sure that I'm having the same value on the left and on the right side, okay? So let's move a little bit forward. So right here, now let me go back. As you guys gonna see here, I'm going to the frame, and right behind the frame, we have this uh this I don't know the name of this in English, but this thing that we can rotate to the right and to the left, and this is going to change the angle of the frame. So I'm moving this a little bit to the right. Actually, I move it a lot, but I'm going to realize that later. I'm realizing this right now and feeling frustrating, so I have to go back and get to the position that it was before. So I'm getting back, moving back to the right position that it was before, and then I'm gonna go back to the wheel clamps and check the values. So here I'm having between 4.5 and 5 on the passenger side, and on the driver's side I'm having between 5 and 5.5. Same values that I had before. So I'm gonna try to be, so if I have 4.5 in one side and 5.5 in the other side, I'm having like a total of one of difference. But I need to have the point that is reaching these two values. So it's right in the middle. So between 4.5 and 5.5, we have 5. I need to make sure that the laser is pointing at the number 5, okay? So I'm moving a little bit to the left, and I'm gonna see the final values. I'm pretty close to 5, so I'm gonna move a little bit more. This is just for educational purposes. As it was before, it was good to do the calibration, okay? Just as a reminder. I'm doing this once more, just a little bit more, and now I'm gonna have the right value, I believe. So here, 5, and let's check the other side. So here I have 5. I'm finally happy with this. I got all measured. Let's go to the next step. I'm closing the leads that we have on top of the mirror because this is a mirror. We have to take care of it. If we don't take care of it, it might broke. So let's keep it good. Okay, now I'm going back to the tablet. So here is showing basically what I explained to you guys. If you guys want, I can put a print of this screen later for you on the next video, but here is just explaining every step that I just went with you guys more than once. As you guys saw, I had to do this a couple of times, but it's all always showing here on the tablets, okay? So I'm just moving forward. Okay, I'm choosing A. So here, the wheel clamps. Here, the laser that is pointing to the target. So here is the wheel clamp. Here's the target. And then we open the lid here. There's the mirror. So the laser goes here, hit the mirror, and goes back. Okay. Okay, exit. So now I went wrong. So now I just needed to hit OK. So OK, OK. And right now it's telling me that I need to position the frame that we are gonna place the targets on. Okay. Sorry for the mistakes, guys. I'm I was kind of nervous to recording for you guys, so my bad. So here is telling that we need to position this frame, and the position to attach each target needs to be 360 millimeters on the right and 306 millimeters on the left, okay? So I'm grabbing the frame here, this big guy right here. So right here I'm telling that the position is already at the right place because we happened to had calibrated a Nissan 1 day ago, so everything was at the right position here. So 360 on this side and 360 on the other side. So I'm just putting this to keep it safe. So let's tighten it up, and then let's go to the next step. So right now it's telling me that I need to get the targets. So the targets will be, as you guys can see, oh, here. Oops. Sorry. So as you guys can see here, it's telling that I need the target 60103 left side and 60103 right side. So let's grab it. Okay, let's get the targets. All right. So now I'm checking which one goes on each side, and as you guys can see, the one that has the square, the two square on the top and one square at the bottom is on the left side, which means the driver's side of the vehicle, and the other one that has two squares down and one on top is on the right side or the passenger side of the vehicle. So right here, as you guys can see, I'm gonna position, and just to assure you, let's go here. Okay, right side. So as you guys can see here, um, what they say left side and right side, make sure that you position it looking to the left side and right side from the vehicle's view. If you look behind the frame, you're gonna position it wrong. So always try to look from the as the view of the vehicle, and then you're gonna position the left side and the right side, or keep it left as driver side and right as passenger side. So this goes on the driver side of the vehicle, and this one goes on the passenger side of the vehicle. So driver side, passenger side, okay? So now I'm gonna check the bubble level, which is this thing right here. And this is always to help you to check if the frame is doing like Michael Jackson to the front or back, or if the frame is like bending to the sides. As you guys can see here, we are on a good surface level, so the bubble is right in the middle here and right in the middle here, so we're good to go. See, thumbs up. I'm happy with it. So, all right. Now, let's good. Okay. So now I'm gonna change the height of the frame, and the measure that Nissan asks is 1300 millimeters. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna put the ruler on the ground, and let's get it up to 1300. So as you guys can see here, we have the manual tool, but there is an automatic one, but it's always good to do like some exercise, so we like to use the manual one, okay? Let's keep it going. A little bit more. All right. 1300. Perfect. Let's go. Now I'm gonna hit OK. All right. So now I did the worst part. The most difficult part of doing the calibration, as you guys can see, is not that difficult as it seems like, but it was positioning the frame at the right position. From now on, it's just communication from the tablet to the vehicle. I believe I'm gonna need to do one more measurement, but after that, just communication between the tablet and the vehicle and the camera trying to reach the targets and getting the measurements, okay? So right now it's just asking ensure that the ignition is on. The ignition is on and the engine is on. Uh, the tablet doesn't ask you that you need to keep only ignition on. But in that case, I'm gonna leave just ignition on. But there were some other Nissans that we were able to calibrate with engine on as well. So you guys can do this way too. But be assured that some cars you can do with engine on, some other cars only ignition on, okay? So let me turn the car off. And now just turn ignition on. Just one tap on the push button start. All right. Okay, now it's gonna ask me for the measurement of the height of the arc on each side. Let's do it. So as you guys see, before I use it the laser measurement to do the measurements from the frame to the car. Right now I'm gonna use the tape measurements to measure this arc size. So here, so I have 690 on the driver side, and on the passenger side, let's check 685. So I'm gonna put this on the tablet. Let me go back here. 690, 685. And now it's gonna perform the calibration. And while it's performing the calibration, make sure you guys comment on this video. If you guys like, hit the like button. Um, Always, if you have any questions or anything, ask us. We're gonna be more than pleasure to help you guys. If you have any suggestion, please please make sure you always write it down. We always like the feedback, and thank you for watching this video. Let's keep it going while we are doing the calibration. And right now, let me just go back a little bit. So the calibration is performing, and what you need to do at this point, first of all, make sure that the environment that you took this long to set up keeps the same. So try to not change the light. Please don't pass between the car and the targets, and don't let anybody pass between these. Otherwise the calibration will fail, okay? So keep it as is. The measurement that you put so much effort on, leave it as it is, and please make sure that you don't change the environment. Otherwise your calibration will be not performant and you have to do the whole thing again, or try to figure it out what changed on your environment, okay? So right now the calibration is doing, please wait. And then it's still loading. Now it gave me the values and it's saying right here that the calibration is completed normally. So here are the measurements that I got from the angles and everything. This is always coming from the camera. If one of these values does not match this OE standards, the calibration will be completed abnormally and you have to do the calibration again, okay? So I'm gonna take a screenshot, hit OK. Now I have another screen that is telling here calibration successful. I'm gonna hit OK. Another screenshot. All right, let's wait. Hit skip and do the post scan, which now is the part that we are showing to our client how the car came off our hands. So we're gonna do the post scan here. And remember the errors that was before on the pre-scan? Right now, as we wanted to give the car as clean as we can to the customer, we are going to erase every error that we are able to erase right now, okay? On the post scan. So now I'm gonna hit yes, because it is asking if I want to attach any photo. Oh, and another thing that I didn't say on the pre-scan, it was asked too if I wanted to attach photos. On my case and my partner's case, Fernando, we don't use the photos on the pre-scan because we have another software where we do this and we take all the pictures we need from the vehicle. So we don't do this on the pre-scan. On the post-scan, as I want to prove to our client that we performed the calibration, we always take a screenshot of the status of the calibration and attach this to the post-scan, okay? So now I'm gonna attach this. Yes. All right. And now I'm gonna do the quick erase because it's just one button. I'm gonna give the car clean, no faults, and it's gonna be good to the client to do whatever he wants with the car, okay? So, another calibration done. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please, if you guys like it, um, subscribe to our channel. Reminding you guys that we have another channel from Plugin that is totally performed in Spanish, which is my partner Fernando who makes the videos. And if you guys liked, please hit the like button, make some comments, and I'll see you guys on the next calibration. Bye bye.